What's up, UConn fans? Mediocre Dan here to break down our upcoming bowl matchup, the Myrtle Beach Bowl between our UConn Huskies and the Marshall Thundering Herd. Now, this is UConn's first bowl game since 2015, a rematch of the 2015 St. Petersburg Bowl where Marshall bested us 16-10. Obviously, our guys are going to be hoping for a better result this time around, and I just think that they can deliver. Now, Marshall's had a very up and down season. The highlight of the year coming very early, a win in South Bend, Indiana against the Notre Dame Fighting Irish on the road. So Marshall, welcome to the club. You are now on the do not play ever again list because we got a bunch of cowards up there in South Bend. But that was a great win for Marshall, but it came at a time where they were losing a bunch of other games. They had a couple wins in there over FCS schools, really trying to figure out who their team was. But they come into this game winning 4 straight, an 8-4 record overall. They are cooking. They're playing their best football. They're at their peak. So it should be a very interesting matchup, a very good matchup, and a fun matchup down there in South Carolina. Now, the strength of the Marshall Thundering Herd is their defense. They are allowing opponents only 18.4 points per game, which is 9th best in the FBS. And one of their real strengths on the defensive side of the ball is stopping the run, 3.1 yards per carry allowed to opponents, 6th best in the FBS. And another area that they're really keen on stopping is those wide receiver screens and out in the flat when wide receivers get into space around the line of scrimmage. 2 areas, obviously, that as UConn fans, we know our team has relied heavily on this year. We are one of the most run-reliant teams in the FBS. We also love to use Aaron Turner out in those wide receiver screens, get him moving with jet sweeps, get him moving in motion. 2 things that Marshall is really good at taking away. So it should be interesting to see which side wins that battle in the game this coming Monday. Now, one of their big areas of vulnerability on defense is the passing attack towards the mid zone down the field. Specifically, comeback routes 10 to 15 yards down the field on the sideline, and then going across the middle 7 to 12 yard range. So something I would love to see us do to attack their defense and move the ball down the field if we're not able to get there with the run game or with Turner out in the flat is utilizing our big tight end, Justin Joly. I am super high on the kid. I think that he has unlimited potential here in stores. I think he could potentially be wearing an NFL jersey one day. He has that much size and skill and athleticism. Still raw as a freshman, obviously, but I think this could be a big statement game for him, a coming out party, something to really get UConn fans excited for going into his sophomore season next year. So I really hope we're able to get Joly involved and move the ball down the field on a really tough defense from Marshall. Now, on the offensive side of the ball, Marshall loves to run it. They have a 2-headed monster of a backfield. Their main runner all year has been Kalan Laybourne. He has over 1,400 yards on the ground this season, 16 touchdowns, 5.1 yards per carry. And then in the last 2 games, they just got back the FBS leading touchdown scorer from last season. That is Rasheen Ali. He had 23 touchdowns a year ago. He's come back and rushed the ball at a clip of 5.7 yards per carry. So they rely heavily on running the ball. UConn's been decent against stopping the run this year. So it's really going to need our offensive front and our linebackers to plug up those holes, stop their rushing attack, and force their QB to beat us. They have a redshirt freshman QB, Cam Francher, 56% completion percentage on the year, 8 touchdowns, 5 interceptions. So not a fantastic ratio. He does have really good legs. He's a dual threat quarterback. He doesn't run too often. It's mostly in scrambles. They do some designed QB runs for him, very limited amount of run pass options that they'll run within their offense. But he does have a good deep ball as well, can throw the ball down the field. But one of his biggest weaknesses is throwing the ball on the run. So if we are able to move the pocket from our defensive side of the ball, make them move the pocket, get him on the ground, spy out there, don't let him actually beat us with his legs, but get him on the move. That's where we might actually be able to pick him off a few times. And I think if we're going to win this game, it's going to be a low-scoring affair. We are going to need to turn them over 2 or 3 times to keep this game low-scoring. But I think we can do it, and that's one of the ways that we could beat them on their offensive side of the ball. Now, if it comes down to it, if we are evenly matched on offense, defense, I like our chances to beat them in the special teams battle. They have a freshman kicker, only 13 of 20 on the year from field goals, long of 40 yards, whereas no rules. We know that he is a fantastic kicker. He has a big leg, so something that could factor in during late games. I think if we get into field goal range, we take points every single time. Don't roll the dice. Don't go for it on 4th and 4 with a 35-yard potential field goal. I think every points are going to be at a value in this game, and we could beat them in the special teams department. that's where we could potentially win this game. I'll also mention that they have a freshman punter as well. Not a great leg, 39.2 yards per punt. He's had some shanks and some clunkers in some of the film I've watched on them this year. So again, if we could stop them, force them to punt the ball, good things could potentially happen for us. Well, I'm bummed I'm not going to be able to travel down to South Carolina to support our guys, but I know a big contingent of UConn Twitter will be there. I will be watching from home here in Nashville, TV on blast, listening for you guys in the stand, making some noise. I think we could do it. 10.5 points is the spread. I think we cover that easily. I think that there's a good shot that we can keep this game low scoring, that we can actually pull this one off. So I will be rooting loud here in Nashville, and have fun in Myrtle Beach for everyone who's going to be attending. And congratulations to Coach Morin on a fantastic season. The entire team, congratulations on a fantastic season. Now let's cap it off with a win in our first winning season in over a decade. Mediocre Dan, signing off. Let's go Huskies.